Microphone test 1 2 1 2. Microphone test 1 2. I've got a new microphone, guys. You guys remember my old microphone now? This one, but this one is no longer good, so I had to get a new one. I'm going to miss this microphone because this microphone has some memories, but right now I just have to use this one. So today in the house, the diary session was very different from usual. The housemates had to pick names from a box, so anybody's name you pick is going to be your big brother. Some awkward selections were there today, like Ozo picking Dorothy. Their diary session was very awkward, but I'm going to get to that. Ozo picked Dorothy, Erica picked Wathoni. So Wathoni was her big brother. So whether you're a girl or a boy, you're going to be big brother. You're going to take the place of big brother. So Wathoni was Erica's big brother. So I'm going to just read out their diary session today. The reason I'm talking about diary session today is because it's just different. The housemates are talking to each other. So whatever they say there, even though it's a secret, but it's not really a secret because at least one housemate knows, it's going to be weird because you'll not be carrying this person's secret. Everybody's carrying somebody's secret, and normally they're not supposed to discuss diary session. So I don't know if this one they're going to discuss it or not, or if they're supposed to discuss it or not. I don't think they're supposed to share. So I'm just going to read it out because this brain cannot carry everything, obviously. So the first person was Trikiti. Neo was Trikiti's big brother. So what happens is that you go into the arena, one seat is for you, one seat is for big brother, and there were some questions inside paper. You just pick any paper, then ask the other person the questions from the paper. I like how they did it like that, because if they did not do it like that, people would just be asking some kind of questions. Or maybe it would have been nice if they were allowed to ask the questions that they wanted to ask, ask the questions they wanted to ask, so that we would just get to hear some spilling of tea or stuff. But they gave them questions to ask. Then let me just read out the question, Sha. So Neo asked Trikiti, if you had the power to pick a romantic partner in the house without the fear of judgment, like people are not judging you, looking at you some kind of way, who would that be? And he said Dorothy. Now before it would have been Wathoni, but he has noticed that Wathoni is very emotional, and for him he's not like the lovey-dovey kind of guy. So right now the way he's going to pick Dorothy because of her vibe and just the way she is, Sha. Then the second one was, if you could change a house rule, what would that be and why? He said he would change the fact that you have to pick the same sex as deputy head of house. That if it was not that way, then maybe you have small hope. That the way it is now, no hope. Anybody that picks, they have to pick their boo of the opposite sex to be there. So right now it's almost as if you don't win, you don't have hope. So you would have liked them to be able to pick their G's and stuff as deputy head of house instead of like same sex. The next question was, if you were offered a guaranteed 20 million naira to quit the game now, would you take it? And Trikiti said no. I'm like, hey, if it's me, I'll say yes. So especially when I know that I'm like in the bottom 4, or at least the last 2 voting results have shown that I'm in the bottom 4. And right now you're asking me for guaranteed 20 million naira. Me, I'll take it to money for hand. That'll be whatever it is. Like, if that maybe I've not heard my name before, I'll just say that, okay, maybe my fan base is like really large and I have potential to like win. But this one, I'm hearing my name back to back as bottom 4. Me, I'll just take it and say, let me carry the one I'm singing and be going. Instead of you to now be hopeful for. The only good thing is that, okay, maybe you still stay in the house longer and enjoy other things. But man, I feel like if I was in his position, I'm going to take it. The next pair was Laycon and Wathoni. Laycon was the big brother. So the first question was, who do you think is least deserving of being in the house? What kind of question is that? She was like, there's nobody, she doesn't feel like there's anybody that's least deserving. Like, the fact that you're in the house at this point in time is not like it's just an easy journey, but right now she doesn't feel like there's anybody that's least deserving of being in the house. The second one was, if you can change any rule in the house, what is it going to be? She said the head of house rule, but her own was that she would like anybody to be able to enter inside there, even if you're not like the head of house. Now they can't enter the head of house room, so she would like to change that. She wants to be able to enter the head of house room, use the bathtub, use the toilet and everything, just to be able to go in there freely. Then her last question was, is there any relationship you're faking with any of the housemates? Like the relationships that you have in the house, is there anyone that you're not genuine or you're just playing along? Let's just be that Kodi kind of, let's just be that we are doing. She was like, no, that for her, it's hard for her to pretend. She finds it's hard to pretend. So all the relationships she has in the house, or all the friendships that she has with people in the house, they are genuine. The next set was Tolani Baj and Lucy. The first question that they asked all of them is like, how are you feeling today and everything, and most of them are like, okay, I'm fine and stuff. But I'm not adding that because that's like a regular question. Everybody knows that if you go in, Big Brother is going to ask you, how are you today, and you say I'm fine. So I didn't add that one, but just know that they asked each other that one. So Tolani Baj and Lucy. Tolani Baj was the big brother, so she was the one asking Lucy questions. She said, who do you think is the biggest liar in the house? She was like, she can't think of anybody right now, but maybe she's going to say Neo because of something that he told Katrina while she was in the house. So it's almost as if she told Katrina a story. I mean, he told Katrina a story, and maybe things were not really rhyming or stuff, but she just said Neo. The next one was, if you had the power to pick a romantic partner in the house, who would it be? I like that question because I've been watching Vee and Praise, and I've been looking at it like, what is happening here? I really want to know what's happening here. So I like the fact that they asked her that question, and she said Praise. She called Praise Praise name, although she put it in such a way that she's just barely attracted to him, but amongst other guys in the house is going to be praised. I'm like, okay, it's alright. There are so many clips that I'm going to show you guys of the things that the things I saw them doing in the house today. I saw her hugging him today and stuff, but I'm not going to put it in this video. This video I'm just discussing the diary sessions. Maybe in the next video I'm going to talk about every other thing that happened in the house today. So her next question was, do you think you are misunderstood? She now said no, that she doesn't think she's misunderstood, that the housemates understand her, but they just choose to behave how they behave. It's alright. The next batch was Nengi and Praise. Nengi was the big brother. She said, what is the biggest lie you have ever told? He now said that I wasn't in touch with somebody while I was. So he probably lied to somebody that he was not in touch with somebody while he was in touch with the person. Yeah, basically. Tell Biggie a very personal story and how it made you feel. That was Nengi asking as per big brother now. He now said, having my son is a very personal story to me, like something that really like got to me and stuff. He said it made him feel important, it made him feel responsible. You know, you just know that you have to cater for somebody other than yourself and stuff. So that's how it made him feel. Then the next question was, is there anyone you need to forgive outside the house, and are you ready to forgive the person now? He now said that there's no one particular person, that there are people. There's so many people that he needs to forgive outside the house, but that he feels like right now he's not ready to forgive them, but at some point you have to let it go. The next set was Trikiti and Nengi. Trikiti was the big brother. So it was like, send a very personal message to somebody that's really important in your life, apart from your family members, like your mother, your immediate family members. And she was like, she's going to send to her aunt, that she's thanking her aunt for taking good care of her, taking her in when she was 11 years, and like seeing her through all this while, that she wishes she could pay her back double and everything, that she's very, very grateful to all that she did for her. Then he asked about her relationship with her fellow housemates, if there's anybody that she's not genuine with, and she was like, no, that's all the relationships that she has in the house, that she's genuine with them, that she cannot be close to everybody in the house, obviously, but the people that she's close to, that it's all love, everything is just genuine. The next set was Praise and Ozo. Praise was the big brother. The first stop was also for him to send a very personal message to somebody that's important to him apart from his family members, and he was just thinking Sha. He now sent one to Kelechi, that he's thanking him for helping him get a job at the time he needed it the most. So it's going to be Kelechi, his best friend, his close friend. The next one was, who do you think is the least deserving to be in the house? He now said he doesn't think there's anybody that's least deserving to be in the house, but if he's talking based on viewers' choice and like all the voting results that they've seen in the past, that he's going to pick Trikiti just based on viewers' choice. You know, the way it is now, like Trikiti has been there back to back as one of the least housemates. I mean, one of the housemates with the least votes. So for him, he's going to pick Trikiti. So they asked him about his relationships in the house too, whether he's genuine with all the people that he's close to. Obviously, I don't think there's anybody that will say no to that question. Like, you now come and say, no, I'm not genuine, no, I'm fake, I don't really. Nobody will say that now. So the answer to that question is obviously a positive response. Then Kidwaya and Vee went in. Kidwaya was the big brother. Said, what's the biggest lie you've ever told? She was like, I told somebody I love them while I didn't love them. Then they asked her to send a message to a very important person in her life, just like the other people. So she sent a message to Heda. She was like, you're one of the best friends or sisters I've ever had. You made me feel like I'm the smartest person in the world. You made me feel very important. She was saying plenty things, but she sent a message to her best friend. They said, if you could break up a relationship in the house to advance your game, which would it be? They should have asked all of them this question. I wanted the answer for this question from all of them. They should have asked all of them. She now said it's going to be Tolani Baj and Prince. And the reason is that she feels like Prince is very competitive. So she would just like to, just go in there and just tweak it a little bit and just start going there and break tables, scatter tables. I don't know how it's going to advance her game, but that was her answer, The next batch was Prince and Brighto. Prince was the big brother. So he asked Brighto, if you could break up a relationship in the house to advance your game, which would it be? And he said he's going to go for Ozo and Nengi because they are heading nowhere. It's like the ship does not have destination. It's just going. And for him, he's going to pick that ship because he doesn't feel like they're heading anywhere, and he would not like to like break any relationship that looks like they have a destination. For that one, there's no destination, and it's not even wrong because right now, all the table shattering that has happened with that ship, it's plenty, it's long. Then talk about a personal story, and he talked about the history of being in the house, like the way he came into the house and he was quiet, that he had just graduated from being that quiet person that nobody really understood to just being this person that everybody is friends with. That for him is a touching and personal story. I don't know how that's touching and personal, but according to him, that's his own story. I feel like Brighto doesn't really like talking about anything, doesn't like talking about himself outside the house, because for most of the information that we've gotten about Brighto is other people saying it, or maybe from his page, or because I've never really heard him saying something about himself, only that first week that they were introducing themselves. So this one that he's using the house story as his personal story. Maybe he doesn't want to say so much. So they asked him, how much have you won in the house and what are you going to do with your winnings? He didn't say how much, but he said with the winnings he's going to pay his tithes because he had an agreement with his creator, and then after paying his tithes he's going to also give his mom some of the money from all his wins and stuff. He has said it before, that he's going to pay his tithes based on his agreement with his creator. The next batch was Lucy and Laycon. Lucy was the big brother. She asked Laycon, is there anybody that you need to forgive outside the house? Just that normal question. And he said nobody, that he doesn't hold things to heart, so there's nobody for him to forgive. Now said, who do you think is the least deserving of being in the house? He said nobody. And the fact that they're in the house means that they deserve to be in the house. Then she asked him, if you could turn back time, what would you change? I was thinking he was going to bring up the Erica situation, like maybe I would have not just attached myself to her or something, but he said he's going to change the deluxe challenge that they had, and I'm sure it's because they didn't win. He was just saying that there were some changes that he wanted them to make in the group that they didn't make, that he feels like if they made that change that they would have won. So that one is still paining him till today. That's what he said he will change. There are so many things though, but that's the one he's going to pick since he has to pick one. The next batch was Vee and Neo. Vee was the big brother. I'm like, a couple things. So she asked him, what's the biggest lie you've ever told? And he said, telling a lie that I've traveled out of the country when I haven't. He also said it at the beginning of the show while they were talking about introducing themselves, and they asked him, what's the weirdest lie you've said? He was like, then he used to tell people that he has traveled even when he has not traveled. So it was not a new thing to hear. So if the second one is, if you had the power to pick a romantic partner in the house without the fear of judgment, who would it be? And he picked Vee, obviously. Although I felt like that question was not asking him, like he already has Vee as a romantic partner, so you don't really need to pick her over again. So the next one was, if you could change a house rule, what would it be? He said, I'll change the fact that the head of house can't participate again, like after winning you can't participate in next week. He's just going to remove that. They now asked, okay, is there anything else that you'd like to tell Big Brother? They asked all of them, but most of them said no, that they're fine. So this one now, because it's Vee and Neo now, maybe he just wanted to say something. He now thanked Biggie, that's Vee, for like the flowers and everything, that he's happy that he was able to make her day special. She was just there smiling, that, you know, based on the fact that she knew that he was directing it to her. Then this next batch, Ozo and Dorathy, their own was so weird. Hey God, I don't know whether they were beefing before they entered or something happened between them today. I don't really know. So for Ozo and Dorathy, the first question was, if you were offered the guaranteed 20 million naira, would you take the money and go home? At first she was like, no, because she doesn't trust anybody, so she's not going to take the money. He now said it's guaranteed. She now said she doesn't trust anybody, so she can't even say, except she sees the money, as in the money just comes and she sees it, money for hand, that if it's that one, she sees it, she'll take it. But right now she doesn't think she'll take it. Then the second question, if you could turn back time, what events in the house would you like to reverse? This was the one that like really got to him. So she said, I'll probably not get too close to Ozo because I allowed myself to get so carried away by the attention, and I literally didn't bond well with other housemates. So I'll take back all the time attention and spread it around the house. Hey, wonderful. So if she could turn back time, she's not going to get so close to Ozo. And then, you know, I feel like, you know, that first week, the way it is that you're not close to this person, and then it's like you take away your chances of everybody coming to you, and then that person that you're now close to doesn't now, you guys don't now couple up. It's like the person came and blocked your chances and then left, you know, that kind of thing. Then the last thing was, is there anything else you like to tell Big Brother? And she was like, I just hope everything is fine and hope this is part of the game. Like the whole thing of him not talking to them, that she hopes it's part of the game, and she misses his voice and everything. Even me, I'm missing Big Brother's voice. I want to hear this is Big Brother. You get. Then the next set was Wathoni and Erica. This was another very weird, it was not so weird, I was thinking it was going to be weird, but it was not so weird. The first question, the first thing was, tell Biggie a very personal story and how it made you feel. She was now narrating how social media helped her find her dad, that she was just online and somebody chatted her up, somebody DM'd her, now telling her that their son name is alike and everything. They short talk, and they now met. That she was just thinking it was just normal thing of just meeting somebody that you know, meeting a fan or meeting a social media friend. And when they now met, the lady was talking about her own uncle, well, that's story. But at the end of the day, she now spoke with her father. That's Erica. Now spoke with her father through the lady, and she was now she was surprised and everything. That at first she was surprised, but on speaking to her dad and finding out that her dad was not even surprised. It's almost as if he knew or he expected it, and they had not seen for like how many years. I think the last time she said she saw him was 12 or 15 years. I can't remember the exact time she saw him, but she had not seen him for that long, and she has been looking for him since. So the way he sounded did not even that started making her feel somehow. At that point, she was not angry. She had different kinds of emotions. So she just explained everything she had. But after that, they still saw and like squashed their beef and sorted everything out. Then she now asked, looking at your life outside, is there anybody you need to forgive? And are you ready to forgive the person? She now said, that is still going to be her dad. That's not as if she has anything against him per se, but she doesn't know how she feels when it comes to like her dad. She doesn't know if she has completely forgiven him. That in fact, she feels like she even needs to see somebody to talk to. She needs to see a professional to talk to the person about it. That she doesn't know how she feels about it, but she feels like it's still going to be her dad for that particular question. Then she now said, is there anything else you'd like to discuss with Big Brother? Then Erica now started talking to Wathoni about their issues. Trying to explain to her like that for her, she doesn't feel like it's right to be fighting because of a man. That she has too much pride to be fighting with another lady because of the man. That, okay, even if you say you want to fight with another lady because of the man can even say, oh, he now decides to choose somebody else completely. That won't they look like fools? She was just start talking, explaining herself, explaining what happened that day, and the fact that she has been hearing this stuff of Wathoni saying her son, that she knows that she didn't mean it that way, that she didn't mean to insult her in any way, insult her son, that she just replied to what Wathoni told her, that she cannot even insult somebody's son because she was raised by a single mother, so it's not something she will not be using to insult another person. She talk. At some point, she now wanted Wathoni to respond. Wathoni now said that she can't respond, that she's Big Brother. So she now said, okay. So I feel like she wanted to use that opportunity to squash their beef, but it was not the right time. No, let me not say it was not the right time. Obviously, it's just her pouring out her mind and everything. But she was talking to her as Wathoni. She was not talking to her as Big Brother. She was supposed to say, I just want to talk about the problem I had with Wathoni, but she was like addressing her. She shall explain herself and everything. Then the next one was Erica and Prince. Erica was the Big Brother. The first question was, if you could break up a relationship in the house that you're not involved with, which would it be? And he said it's going to be Erica and Kid. And Erica was the one asking the question. She was shocked, and the way she looked, you know that she was shocked. He just said that it's nothing personal, but he just feels like it's infatuation, especially from the part of Kid. And he admires Erica, so he wouldn't want to see her get hurt. She was not like, oh, like she's not doing, oh, somebody wants to break a relationship, and you're doing, oh. Although he didn't say it from a place of like anger or maliciousness or anything, but he just said he cares about her and he likes her, so he wouldn't want to see her get hurt. Then she asked him who is the biggest liar in the house. He now said they've all told lies at some point in the house, so he can't really say who is the biggest. if you were offered a guaranteed 20 million naira to quit the game and go home now, would you take it? He said the part of me wants to take it and the other part of me doesn't want to take it because he believes that he'll be here to the end and he'll most likely win. That's just how he answered it. Then the next set was Brighto and Tolani Baj. Brighto was big brother. He asked her, what's the biggest lie you've ever told? She said she can't remember. Then if you could change a house rule, what rule would it be? She said the mandatory gym in the morning, that she would like to make it like optional. If you want to go, you go. If you don't want to go, you leave it. Then they asked her, how much have you won and what will you use it for? She said she has made like 350,000 naira. That for her, she plans to get an apartment and everything when she leaves the house. But with what she has gotten, that she has not gotten enough for that. So right now, that 350,000 naira is just going to be pocket money for her. It's alright. The next set was Dorothy and Kidwaya. Dorothy was the big brother. She asked, who is the biggest liar in the house? Kidwaya said, Praise. That Praise talks a lot, and people that talk a lot, they tend to like lie, add, you know how it is now, somebody's just talking too much and he just add stories, add this and that, they tend to lie. That for him, judging from that, he's just going to say that it's Praise. So they asked him to tell a very personal story about himself and how it makes him feel. He said, I've been going to boarding school since I was 6. You know, I'm a product of nature rather than nurture. That his parents, they did a very good job. He's going to give them that they did a very good job. That he has grown to be independent and everything has to do with how he was brought up. That he can easily cohabit with other people. He has learned how to be independent and live with other people and everything. So at the end of the day, it's a win-win for him. I mean, it's a good thing for him. Then I asked him if he had the magical power to pick a romantic partner in the house without the fear of judgment, who would it be? And he was like, nobody. At first I was listening like, what do you mean? Like, no what? He now said nobody. So he now explained further to say that he's not attracted to any other person in the house than Erica. So I just listened to it and then I reasoned the question again, and he was right by saying nobody, because if you're asking if you would like to be romantically involved with somebody, means that it's somebody that you're not already romantically involved with. They're not asking you who are you romantically involved with, like who would you like to, that you don't want them to judge you, like something. It's more like who do you admire secretly, basically. So he now said nobody, and the reason for that is that he's not attracted to any other person in the house except Erica. So that is the end of our diary session for today. I'm going to see you guys when I make other compilations for the things that happen in the house. At this point, I say my goodbye. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Bye guys, love you.